Our next storyteller coming up is her best piece of advice was from her mentor named Jane Cecil, who is 89 years old, who says very simply, stay in the moment and don't worry. Ladies and gentlemen, BeBe Bush.
Thank you, and I'd like to thank my family for being here, even though we're not related. When I went back to work on Thursday, September 13th, I had no idea what to expect. I work at the Swedish Institute, which is a school that teaches massage therapy. We're up in the Chelsea area, so our building was not affected on that day. So when I walked in at 8 o'clock in the morning, I didn't hear silence. I heard the phones ringing off the hook. So I started to answer the phones. And graduates of the school, massage therapists, were calling in, and they were all asking me the same thing. What's Swedish Institute doing? It was 8 o'clock in the morning, and I was even getting calls from California. So I didn't know what we were doing. So I just started to write down everybody's names and their phone numbers. And I reached out to the director and the dean, and I found out pretty quickly what we were doing. We were mobilizing. All of a sudden, I was plucked out of my post at the reception desk, and I was put into a long, narrow room with two other people, and they started to call us the volunteer coordinators. I had no idea those first few days that when all was said and done, that we would have deployed over 1,400 licensed massage therapists to over 50 sites, but that's exactly what we did. So they crammed 3 desks into this long, narrow room without any windows. Our workspace was really one very large wall that we had covered from tip to toe, left to right, with large, long sheets of paper with the sites written at the top. And we would just furiously write in names of massage therapists and their phone numbers. I often had a landline on one ear and a cell phone on the other. So we had to interview all of these massage therapists who were calling in. First of all, we had to make sure that they were licensed. We had to go on the computer and make sure that they had a license number from wherever they were coming from. We had them coming in from the tri-state area, Colorado, California, Europe. And we had to do quick interviews. Had they themselves just recently lost a family member or a close loved one? Did they have asthma? Did they have breathing problems? Could they handle this? A lot of sites, once they went on the site, they wouldn't be getting off that site for about 12 hours. We got a hold of a list of all the firehouses, the fire stations in all the boroughs. This was our Bible. It had the engine number, ladder number, the address, the phone number. And we would call, I would ask, how many firefighters did you lose? How many do you have left? And this also became the Bible for a group of women we called the Firehouse Ladies. They went out to as many firehouses as they could. One of these firehouse ladies, after working on the backs of about 12 firefighters, was given a dozen roses and a standing ovation. I hadn't counted on a woman calling me up saying, they won't let me through. I can't get over to Stuyvesant High School. So I don't know why I was so surprised at this, because I had to get myself past a young Navy guard and his rifle a few days earlier when I was over in the respite ship, the U.S. Comfort. And I was so surprised at being faced with a rifle. Like, I was just now beginning to understand that our world had changed. Like, I hadn't figured it out on 9/11. But I did get past this rifle. So not having a voice, or more to the point, having a voice, not having a voice is a big deal to me, because I grew up being shut up and shut down. I had an older cousin who was larger than life. She had this fabulous Southern accent. She had this big laugh. She was a big storyteller, and I wanted to be her in the worst way. So getting my voice has been something that I've been working on for a long time. There is nothing spiritual about playing small. Nothing. So I hadn't met this woman on the other end of the line, but she was timid, and I felt like she was ready to give up. So I said to her, okay, use the word deployed. You've been a military term. You've been deployed by the Swedish Institute. Take the stance that you belong there. Look them in the eye. Say that you're expected over at Stuyvesant High School. They're counting on you, and you're to relieve a shift. So she said, okay, and we hung up, and a few minutes later, she called me back. She was so excited. She said, I've gotten through. I'm on my way. So our big hurdle is that we got word from the pit that the he-men and the he-women were not interested in a foo-foo massage. So I had only been working at the Swedish Institute for 3 months to the day on 9/11, and I didn't really know the first thing about the medical effects of massage therapy. But I was to learn that the massage therapists down at the pit would be doing something called sports massage, which would invigorate the bodies. It would take out pain and help with the muscle spasms and get them back to their job on the pit as soon as they could. Also, there's something called shiatsu, and what shiatsu does is realign the body, gets it in balance. The rescue workers' bodies were all off kilter. A lot of them weren't eating for 10, 12 hours, but their bodies weren't telling them that they needed to eat. So after shiatsu, hopefully they would eat and they would get back to the pit feeling lighter and feeling more balanced. One of the firefighters, a lieutenant, told our dean that before 9/11, they never knew that they needed massage therapy. But after 9/11, they knew that they couldn't live without it. So for me, having the opportunity to grease the wheels to make the Swedish Institute massage therapy effort get off the ground and sustain all those months was an honor, and it was the most important work I've ever had the opportunity to do. I think that massage therapy made a big difference, and I'm always thrilled that I was able to be of service and be part of the solution. And of course, I forgot something. When we heard that the he-men and he-women didn't want a foo-foo massage, back to language, we said, don't use the word massage. Just say, hey, can I work on your back for a few minutes? So the very next day, we got word from the pit that these same, or maybe different, rescue workers were saying, gee, maybe I can get some work done on my back during my break. They even started to use the word massage. So we were very thrilled. So, and I'm just glad that I was able to be part of that. Thank you.